Located in the Margaux appellation, Château Palmer was classified as a third growth in the 1855 classification of Bordeaux. It had been more than 12 years since I last visited Château Palmer, and I was extremely impressed by all they had accomplished in the meantime. The last time I visited, they were in the midst of a massive overhaul of their winemaking facilities, but now those facilities are complete and absolutely state-of-the-art. Château Palmer has 66 hectares planted to vine, 47% of which are dedicated to both Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. They also have around 6% Petit Verdot. These vines average around 45 years of age. Château Palmer farms these vines biodynamically and on a parcel-by-parcel basis. Some of its most prestigious parcels are located very close to the estate. One reason that it wasn't classified more highly back in 1855 is that these parcels weren't part of the estate at that time. In the winery, Château Palmer made a significant change to its oak maturation program since the last time I visited. Beginning in 2019 or 2020, they reduced the new oak influence. Currently, they mature their top wine in around 50% new French oak for 12 months, and then they shift the wine to large oak foudres for another 12 months. This change has made an improvement to the purity of the fruit and made the wines a little bit more approachable in their youth. While Château Palmer has long had a reputation of producing elegant, refined wines, the completion of their new winery has helped them improve their wine even further. For example, they now use gravity flow winemaking, which helps them to emphasize the purity of the fruit and prevent oxidation. They also use an extremely stringent selection process. They do 4 different sortings to make sure that only the highest quality fruit makes it into their top wine. 2 of these selections take place in the vineyard, and then when they do the harvest, they also do a manual sort and also use optical sorting equipment. In addition, they vinify their wines on a parcel-by-parcel basis, which gives them tremendous precision in the blending process. One thing that I learned during my recent visit to Château Palmer relates to their distribution. In particular, they now release only 50% of their production through the en primeur or wine futures process. They hold back the other 50% for a library release. In particular, they release their top wine 10 years following the vintage and alter ego 5 years after the vintage. So earlier this year, they just released the 2015 Château Palmer and the 2020 alter ego. While there's certainly no rush to enjoy either of those wines, they are both getting close to the early stage of their drinking window, and so this is certainly a good opportunity for collectors to purchase these wines without having to utilize a lot of storage space for a long period of time to mature them yourself. Both of these vintages are also extremely strong. 2015 in particular is an extremely strong vintage for the Margaux appellation, which was definitely the best appellation on the left bank in 2015. In that regard, it's much like 1983. In both of these vintages, the fruit in Margaux was perfectly ripe at the time of harvest. Unfortunately for those appellations to the north, the fruit still needed a little bit of time to ripen fully, but the producers had to pick it a little bit earlier than they wanted to because rains were approaching. So it's no surprise that both 1983 and 2015 are 2 of my all-time favorite vintages for Château Palmer. Some others that I really enjoy more recently include 2016 and 2018. All 3 of those wines have received at least some 100-point scores. Château Palmer has certainly been firing on all cylinders lately, and you can buy with confidence every vintage beginning with 2008, although 2013 was definitely the weakest in that streak. In terms of older vintages, in addition to 1983, I really enjoy 1982, 1989, and 1999. 1999 was arguably the wine of the vintage on Bordeaux's left bank, and that's a wine that flies a little bit under the radar, but is absolutely an extremely high-quality wine that's showing remarkably well right now. So that's definitely a wine that you can pick up and enjoy immediately. In addition to their top wine, Château Palmer has produced a wine called Alter Ego since 1998. This is not a second wine made from declassified fruit, rather it's a separate label that's made with fruit from primarily a dedicated parcel that they acquired back in 1998. This 8-hectare parcel has a lot more sandy soils and tends to produce fruit that's a little bit more vibrant and expressive, and which shows well younger than the top wine for Château Palmer. For that reason, they decided to make a wine called Alter Ego rather than blending this fruit into their top wine. In most years, you can get Alter Ego for around $100 per bottle, and it offers extremely high quality at that price point. In fact, if there were a reclassification of Bordeaux, Alter Ego itself would probably warrant a fourth growth classification. They make this wine in exactly the same way as the Chateau Palmer top wine, except that during the first year, they only use 25% new oak for the maturation rather than 50%. Many people also ask me about visiting some of the wineries that I feature in my videos. I'm pleased to report that as of earlier this year, Château Palmer welcomes visitors to their winery. They have a new restaurant where they offer lunch, and that's definitely well worth considering, but they also have a number of wine experiences for visitors. So just check out their website and look under the Experiences tab to find out more information. If you'd like to learn about iconic Bordeaux producers Léoville Lascasse and Pichon Baronne, please be sure to watch this video that's linked above.